Hello, legendary leaders, and welcome back to another enlightening episode of Legendary Leadership Bites LLB with Fatah Khan. I'm your host, Fatah Khan, a TEDx speaker, best-selling author, and a mid-career transformation coach. Today, I'm going to cover an interesting topic, and which is also a very critical topic for leaders. How can leaders be successful? Because one of the big challenge with leaders is managing times. Now, if you are a leader, you must have realized the most important thing right now in your life is how do you become productive? How do you manage time? Because on one side, you have your personal life, and on the other side, you have your professional life. And in that professional life, because of the kind of role that you are in, you have to manage stakeholders, customers, clients, vendors, your team members, your peers, reporting to your bosses. So many things that you have to do, but you're not sure, hey, how do I manage this and how do I actually get the best out of it? Now, today I'm going to share with you a powerful framework because when I was in my leadership role, I also realized that it was getting overwhelming for me. And I was like, how do I actually ensure that I am doing my task and activities in the most efficient way and get results for my team, for myself, and for the organization? And it was really tough for me during the leadership time to actually go ahead and figure out ways, but I still struggled, managed. But then over a period of time, when I got into coaching industry, when I started reading more books, listening to different leaders, I actually found this powerful framework, right, which is going to help you all. Some of you might have heard about this framework in the past. Some of you, it might be new, but it's not about just knowing, it's about doing, right? So I'm going to again reiterate this particular framework, and I'm going to share how this framework, which is nothing but the 4D framework, can help you to become productive and get success in your career. So what is this 4D framework? Now I want you to imagine four different boxes, a matrix, x versus y, if you actually need to map it, right? On the x axis, look at important. On the y axis, consider that axis as urgent, right? So if you see the four boxes, the first box would be important and urgent. Second box is important and not urgent. And if you come down, it is not urgent, important, right? And the fourth box, if you see, it is not urgent, not important. So how do you use this particular box or the matrix and solve your biggest problem of time management? Now, I want you to give this 4D formula where the first D is do. What kind of activities you must do as a leader? What kind of task you must do as a leader? How do you decide that? Now, go back to the matrix, right, and start filling the task and activities that you feel that are urgent, both urgent and important. Right? That's your first quadrant. So fill down all those activities, and those are the activities that you as a leader must be doing if you want to actually be productive and get success. Because these are both urgent and important activities which you have to pay attention to, which you have to focus on. Because if you are able to do that, that will actually give you the speed, that will give you the productivity. And these are the activities that will actually help you to achieve your goals, or even like reach to that big mission or the big numbers, right? So these are the activities that you must do. So that's the quadrant number one, which is do. Now let's get into the second quadrant, which is delegate. So what do you need to delegate? Now again, list all those activities in the delegate quadrant, which are the tasks that are important but not urgent, right? I want to remind you again this, the tasks which are important but not urgent. Now these are the tasks that you can delegate. As a leader, you need to learn delegation, because otherwise you will start feeling the burnout. Think of it. If you are a leader, where should your focus go more, whether it's on the doing or on the thinking part? You have a team. If you're just becoming a doer, then you are wasting your resources, you are wasting your team members, because you are not able to utilize them in the best way. Now, one of the challenge with a lot of leaders, especially the ones who are perfectionists, they don't delegate. You know why? Because they expect that somebody whom they are delegating the task or activities should be exactly as competent and as perfect like them. They would expect the same kind of results. And since they know that other person cannot get that kind of results, they don't delegate. And finally, you know what they do? They go ahead and do it on themselves. Now, if you are one among them, it's time to introspect, because if you are doing this, that's why you might be getting the burnout. That might be the reason you are getting stressed. Because as a leader, if you are just doing, how do you get more business? How do you focus on the more important things? You cannot. So delegation is something you need to learn. And the best tip I can give to you is, do not expect that your team member will be able to perform in the best way like you are expecting, right? Just like you are doing. Even if you are able to get initially like 50% of whatever you are doing in terms of when you do it yourself, it is good to go. Don't get caught up with perfection. And of course, the initial stage when you are delegating tasks, you need to spend maybe more time to train your team members. How do they do that? Right? Keep the expectations very clear so that they know what is expected, and explain them like what are the things that you are expecting in what ways. Right? Maybe if you want to explain them like what are the main things that they can focus on, how do they approach that particular task or activity, when you are able to help them initially spending more time to train them, over a period of time you can expect great results from them. But do not expect it immediately, because that's why you are getting paid more, right? Because you are at a leadership level, your skills are great, your potential is amazing, and that's why the other person is not getting paid on the same. So don't expect the same level of results coming from that other team member. But you need to start delegating at one point of time, so why not now? Right? So do that. That's your quadrant number 2, which is delegate. What is quadrant number 3? It is defer. Now, in this quadrant, you have to put all those activities which are something which are not urgent, right? Which are not urgent, and what do you need to do here? Now, the third quadrant, you have to look at it, right? We already put the activities in delegate which are important but not urgent. These are the activities which are urgent but not important. So you have to look at this. So which are not important, what you can do? You can defer these activities, right? Because these are the activities when you defer, you will be able to get more time for yourself. Think of this, right? Forget about the quadrant and everything. But let me remind you once again, how do you actually look at it? Even if you have to simplify this process, like put down, even if you have to simply put down all the tasks, and you have to see what are the tasks that are important right now, what is that are aligned to my goals right now, what are the things that can get me that immediate result right now, right? And many a times we list down a lot of activities, lot of tasks, and we feel everything must be done. No, you don't have to do everything, right? Not everything is of high priority, not everything is important right now for you. It may not be important at this point of time, right? So what do you need to do? You need to defer that, maybe to a few days later, maybe to the next month, right? You need to defer that so that you give more space to the activities that you have already in your plate, right? So that's where the third quadrant, which is defer, comes, when you need to defer all those activities so that you can create more space. Now understand this very well. Like, productivity, being productive is not about doing a lot of great things. Being productive is about removing or eliminating a lot of things which are not important. Let me again reiterate this. It's not about doing a lot of things. A lot of people look at, oh, what are the things that I can do? No, productivity hack is eliminating a lot of things which you don't have to do, or which you can actually defer or delegate. That is where productivity would come from, right? So that's your quadrant number 3. Let's get into the last quadrant, which is quadrant number 4. And this is a very simple one, right? The tasks which are neither important nor urgent. List down all those tasks, maybe some of the things that you might be doing on a day-to-day basis. Just look at your life, and in the day-to-day basis you might be doing a lot of things which are neither important nor actually something that are urgent. So what do you do? That you keep putting down in your bucket list, and you keep getting exhausted, you keep getting overwhelmed because you have so many things in your bucket list. No. How do you simplify this? Go ahead and delete all that activities so that you feel the peace of mind. Right? Think of this. If you have your wardrobe, right? How do you make your wardrobe the best one? When you are actually removing the older items that are not necessary, that is when it will help you. So start deleting all those things. So if you can look at these 4D formula, which is Do, delegate, defer, delegate, do, defer, do, delegate, defer, and delete. You will become productive and you can get success in your career. So this is something that I'm going to give you today as the most powerful framework, which is 4D formula for leadership success. I hope this is something you're going to implement in your life so that it can give you a lot of time. You can become productive and successful in your career. So, legendary leaders, thank you once again for joining me in today's episode. Until our next episode, keep leading with purpose and impact. Stay inspired, stay influential. See you again. Thank you.